Hello, hello, welcome back to the Scrying Mirror. I am back again with another special deck that I wanted to show you all that I've been saving, well, I had, but sometimes with tarot decks, when they're really thick and you're trying to peel them apart, sometimes things happen and they mess up. But the people that I bought this off of was really, really awesome. I got this off of Amazon from some really great people, and as soon as I said that, the deck was missing a few things, and also that it was like kind of the pieces were tearing off of it, they automatically sent me a new deck. So it was really nice of them to do that, because obviously the other deck is no use to me now, as I don't have all of it. So I thought that was really cool for them to do that. They were very nice and no questions asked. I sent them pictures of what it looked like and everything, and they sent me back sent me another one, which it did happen again a little bit, but it is okay. I'm just going to do with what I have. But when they're really thick, and I'm going to show you here in just a minute, when they're really, really thick and you're trying to pry them apart, what you want to do is this. Like I say, these are stuck together. You want to break them a little bit and then peel one at a time easily, so that you don't. I've done this many times, and where this deck is so thick, I mean very, very thick. You will see how thick this deck is. But let's get into it. So I'm going to read the back of it. This is the Wormweird Tarot, and the path of enlightenment has never been so dark. And it's created by George Higham. And the reason why I thought it was Higham at first, or Higham, I don't know what I was thinking, but anyway, this is a very, very awesome deck. The back of it, it says 80 card tarot. There is an extra card in the back, and there's a codex book inside, and it says prepare yourself for and I don't know what codex book is. I need to look that up. It says prepare yourself for an absinthe-fueled descent into a Victorian neverland of plague, dark magic, and monsters. Herein lies a nightmare world of pure lunatic horror. Warning, here there be monsters. It says, warning, here there be monsters. So this is a very gothic deck, I will tell you that. It is created by George Higham, and this is what I was going to tell you. Do you see this picture right here of him, of this guy? This is full, like, have you ever seen the Wax Museum movie? He did every bit of the deck. Every part of the deck is waxed sculptures that he did himself. So this is why it's so cool. And like, these are, I believe he passed away. So whatever he has now is done after this. So I believe this is all that they've got left. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you want to hurry up and get it, I would, because after this, they're done. But what does codex mean? Does that mean it's just like a little... So here's what I got the first time. Okay, this is what I've got the first time, which is really cool. They sent in a thing. This is who they are, so I wanted to kind of show it off. It's called The Next Millennium, and it's in Omaha, Nebraska. Like us on Facebook, and specials and sales. It says, thank you for your order. Magical Omaha, so they are from Nebraska. And it says, April, thanks so much. What is it? Enjoy your new deck. Blessings. And I think it says opal, but I'm not 100% sure. But they sent me this fortune teller fish, a miracle fish. And I was like, oh my God, I remember these from back in the day when I was younger. So what it is you put it in your hand with the gold side down. And it says, place the fish in the palm of your hand, and its movements will indicate. So if its head moves, it's jealousy. Moving the tail in indifference. Moving the head and tail in love. Curling sides is fickle. Turns over is false. Motionless is dead one. Like if you ask the question, it's a dead one, like love is dead. And then curls up entirely is passionate. But here's the thing, most all of them do curl up because they go off with the heat of your hand. So I'm going to show you how this works really quick. It's just really fun and like a little cool little kid game. But here's the gold. So you put the gold and put your hand flat, and you ask a question. How does so-and-so feel about me? And look, it completely curled up. like, it's just the way it is. They always do this, so it's not anything to do with, like, what they got or anything. They just always do that. But sometimes now you'll see that the head just will flip or things like that. But most of the time they always entirely, it's from the heat from the body that gets on the parts of the gold. So it's really cool. So I thought it was cool that they sent me that because I was like, oh my God, that's so awesome. It reminds me of my childhood. I'm not going to say how old I am. But then they sent me another one that says, thank you for your order. April, I hope this one is better. Thanks. And it says Cindy. And it says the next millennium. So I'm shouting them out because I showed them the pictures and they never doubted me. They never questioned anything. They sent out a new one right away. They're really good people. If you all want to order from them, they are on Facebook. And I'm not saying that they didn't question me because, like, I don't need 20 decks of something. So I'm just going to say that. So I'm not going to sit there and ask her another deck. I'm not going to do anything with it. If I were to do anything with it, I would give it away to someone that needed it, or I would put in a drawing or something like that. But I'm going to keep it, and because there's nothing I can do with the other deck. There's no cards it's not a full deck, so it's nothing I can do. So I can't give it to anyone. So they know that, and they're like, here you go, here's a new deck. So this is the Wormweird Codex. And this is on the Anatomy of the Damned, is what it says. And I'm going to pull this out a little bit because this is a big card deck kind of thing. And I'm going to show you everything about it. So, when you open it, look at the back though too, by the way. Tell me that is not awesome. I love that so much. Unleash the spirits within. So this is absinthe. Absinthe is one of the suits in the deck. It's actually the cups. And absinthe was made with wormwood back in the day. It still is, I think, because it's beer and things like that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Wormweird Codex is by George Higham. So he made up this little, it says from 2007. So you can tell how old this deck is, like when he made it. So I'm going to read you a little bit about it. And it's going to tell you about the city of Wormweird, or it's actually the city of Wormwood that's in the other city of Wormweird, and how Wormwood kind of screwed everything up with the plague. And because the absinthe, everybody started drinking it with the green stuff in it, and it became a plague. So I want to let you all know that. And then I'll go on to you about this. Every card that you see is him having sculptures, all waxed. They're all waxed sculptures. And they have, like, say there's like a ghost in the front beside the sculpture. He was like, it's just the use of smoke and mirrors that I did. It's like a little retro vintage, a retro vintage Hollywood thing that we used to do. So I think he used to be in, I didn't get to look him up yet, but I believe he used to be in like horror films. And I really think that's why this was like a big hit for everybody. But you ought to see the cards. They are insane. You will be like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful deck ever. It's just so cool. I love the deck. But I love the story and everything behind it too. So I want you to see that as well. So, yes, my papers fell, so give me just a second. I don't want to lose my fish. My fish almost fell out, see? Gotta be careful that I don't lose my fish. I think I did. How did he fly out so quick? I was sad they didn't send me another one, though. I was like, no. Yeah, it flew out. I don't know where the fish went. I probably stepped on it. I can't lose my fish, so hold on. I'm sticking it back in here. I wanted them to send me another one, but they're like, she got one, she don't need another one. These are vintage too, by the way. The fish are. It's like a little game, like, have y'all ever seen the eagles where you stick them on your finger like this and they balance just on your finger because of the magnetism in them and the balancing in their wings and stuff, so everybody thought it was so cool back then. So it's kind of like that. All right, so let's read this together. So it says, welcome to Wormweird. Welcome to a Victorian neverland of dark myths, strange magics, and weird technologies. So there was an asylum here. So herein you bear witness to the vengeance of angels, the birth of monsters, and the death of man. Welcome to Wormweird. Within the world of Wormweird lies the city of Wormwood, home to Baron Alchemist, and seat of his old asylum, Absinthe Empire. So it used to be it was an old asylum. That's what the Absinthe Empire was called, Old Asylum, because they spelled it asylum with the old was OLDE, so it's spelled OLDE, Asylum, Absinthe Empire. What is absinthe, you ask? It is the stuff, dreams, and nightmares. It's saying that it was an alcoholic beverage, pretty much, with an hallucinatory properties that were favored by artists and madmen during the waning days of the Victorian era. The dangerous elixir had been elevated to a near mythic status after it descended into the realm of outcasts and outlaws, being banned in the early 20th century. Its main ingredient, the bitter and mind-altering wormwood, gives its distinct hue a rather ghastly shade of green. The color of absinthe is the color of decay, which is true. Wormwood was used and is still used in beer and alcohol and absinthe. What do you hold in your hand is a chronicle of the fall of the city of Wormwood. It's a strange chronicle, though, as it is not constructed in a chronological order. It exists as a dream, a dream might, fractured, weird, and full of mystery, is an enigma cloaked in darkness, open to interpretation, while being faithful to the tarot tradition. The Wormweird Tarot is an art gallery, a spooky house, waxworks, a cabinet of curiosities, yet above all, a tarot deck. You certainly do not need to know how to read the tarot to enjoy it, but it was created to conform to the use of divination if you choose. Within the twisted occult tradition of the tarot, various abound. These differences range from the titles and order of some of the major arcana and some dispute regarding the minor arcana and their elemental equivalents. And the reason why I think they're saying that is because, you know how the page, it's the page, the knight, the queen, and the king. And this one, the page, is the fetus. And that was the only part I did not like about that. But it's fun. When designing this deck, I learned to accept these differences and to incorporate my own variations, yet remain true and respectful to the core archetypes, symbolism, and numerology that make the tarot what it is. So in the beginning, there was a darkness. And it says, the realm of Wormweird is as vast and varied as nature would allow. Nature, however, is losing its grip on reality and things that it never would have allowed to have come into being. So, like, the town was fine, and then all of a sudden, like, what was never allowed before actually started happening all over the place. It was such thing. It's like, what is that movie, The Crow, where everything is, like, dark at night and stuff like that? Reminds me of that. Such things are the soldiers in war on sanity as they taint reality with the nightmares of corruption. Many consider the city of Wormwood to be the capital of Wormweird, and this moldering metropolis stood at the forefront of the attack. Clockwise engines and alchemy, decadence, and dark magics all have their place within the sinister city. But most important of all, of course, was the absinthe. So important, in fact, that the city itself was named after the traditional key ingredient of the decadent beverage, wormwood. Not content with tradition, however, Baron Alchemist improved upon the formula. So he was the maker, the owner of the Alchemist, the Asylum Empire. So within the swamplands that crested the north of the city stood the old asylum, a castle-like structure that had forfeited its murderous lunatics when the madhouse was converted into the absinthe distillery. So it used to be an old asylum, and then they moved them all out, the madmen and stuff like that. They actually let them free, I believe, because it was so crazy out in the city anyway. They just let them out. Baron Alchemist needed his ancestral home to further his absinthe empire. And so those influenced with the city agreed with his vision. For the financial benefits were staggering. Obviously, there was more money to be made by the manufacture and export of the Baron's very special absinthe than from the housing of gibbering lunatics. Plus, there was the added incentive of all the absinthe that they could drink. So the only man that stood in his way was his own father, Lord William Alchemist, physician and overseer of the old asylum. This mattered little, however, for Lord William was soon dead, butchered by one of his own lunatic inmates, or so it seemed. Any opposition to the Baron's plans had died with him. As for the wretched inmates, most slithered south, making their way into the alleys of the city, but insanity still held sway within the haunted asylum walls and without. The lunatics that made it to the alleys had 12 years to live or die as they chose before the shadow of the pestilence made the decision for them. For 12 years, the Baron's absinthe empire grew. For 12 years, the city slid into a dark pit of cruelty, decadence, and perversion. So, what it's saying that even though he let everybody go free, but there was only 12 years, and then it was kind of over with. Misery was commonplace, but the agony that arrived with the plague brought a new era of damnation to Wormwood. So it was the plague that really pretty much killed everybody. The dark madness crept over through the city, for both the citizens and the damp cobblestones upon which they trod became infected. Strange angels were manifest, held in regard by minds overwrought with strange thoughts. Wormwood's skyline had cracked and twisted under the stress of its dying gasp, as the building had been made of little more than brittle bone skinned with dry flesh. The decaying architecture betrayed an uncanny mortality of stone and iron, sharing in the weakness that ate at the flesh of its inhabitants. The plague affected all. The city's alleys were dark, and so it's just talking about how Absinthe Row, it's called Absinthe, like the bowels of a huge dead thing. The labyrinth, the Absinthe Row, had never been a clean place, but we now was tainted with the filth of plague, vermin, blood, and rot. Only a fool would wander these alleys alone, a blonde, damned fool. And so we begin. So it talks about the fool, and it goes on in depth on every single card, what it all means, and what the high priestess is, and it goes in a very in-depth on every one of them, which I really, really like. So this little book is like a big book of it's like a little story. It's actually a really cool story, so you really want to read it. It's actually like, oh, that's awesome. So it does, so we have, okay, so we'll start with this. So we have the nils, which I believe are, we have all the majors, which are the same except for one, I think. And then we go into the court of nails, which are the pinnacles. Nails, I would think, would be wands, but whatever. So the nails are pinnacles. So let me write that down so I can remember that. So nails are pinnacles. And then let's see, and they have it all weird and set up, so I had to fix it all up because it'll start off with the big one, the big one, the king all the way to the ace, and then it'll start off number 2. It's weird. The court of shadows is the wands, which was whatever. So the wands, so the shadows were the so the nails are the pinnacles, the shadows are the wands, and then, which is weird because you would think nails, but whatever. And then the court of flames, which should be the wands because they are fire signed. Element fire. Swords element is not fire, it is air, but anyway. In this case it is. So we're going to say that the swords are flames. And of course absinthe is the cups. So that is so weird how they do that. That's not even right. But anyway, it tells you the entire story in the book. And then in the back, I want to show you this part really quick. And then it just shows you all the pictures and all of that. The Wormweird. There's the wild card. The Baron Alchemist Gold Ingot. He murdered his father, took over the asylum, and emptied it of its lunatic inmates, and converted it into an absinthe distillery. So then things got really crazy. Baron was a wild card. His abilities, unanticipated by forces of both the angelic and the infernal, Hill came to Wormwood, but even the darkest of evils was confounded by this man that was no longer merely a man, but a woman as well, no longer living, but not quite dead either. So what he did is he took all of his, like, gold and, like, melted it all together, is what I think is what it says. And he has a twin brother. As the physician and head of the asylum, Lord William took measures to correct his mistake. He subjected the young baron to a series of speculative surgeries committed far from prying eyes. The operation succeeded, and the baron lived and knew nothing of his original condition until he grew into manhood. So there's a lot about this, and it's a really good book story. Like, it's like, wow, he came up with a really good one. And so it talks about that, and then smoke and mirrors. Several notes regarding the creation of the Wormwood Tarot. It's all done with smoke and mirrors, really. Really. The ghostly special effects that appear within the Wormweird Tarot were all created utilizing retro-tech Victorian stage illusions and waxwork sculptures. So every bit of that is waxwork that he's doing. And so the images existed physically as you see them at the time that I photographed them, were not altered by digital trickery. This archaic approach forced an exhilarating level of creativity upon my build it and shoot it methods, and allowed the city of Wormwood to develop as an organic place of texture and depth, populated by nightmarish creatures. And that says, may your path be true, George Higham. So, and it's by PoePuppet.com, like Edgar Allan Poe. So, but you've got it. This is awesome. Like, I had to show you the book, and I had to read a little bit about it because you need kind of a backstory about it. I mean, this is like a full book right here. Because once you go, okay, you're like, you get 3 or 4 cards, and you're like, okay, what is Scream? Scream is the only one I think that is different than Justice. But it tells you Elizabeth was not insane when she was in prison within the old asylum. But she was when they set her free. She did what she needed to survive, and as only a lunatic could weather confinement in such a place. So it tells you such a big story through every one of these. So do not forget about the book. I would read the book before I even did the tarot, to be honest with you. I did not. I've not read it all yet. I just wanted to show you all, and then I'll do it. So let me move the book out of the way, and then we'll get on to the next big, grand thing, which is the tarot. And it's not in like a grand box, by no means. Like, it's literally like cardboard. Like you can tell, like it's literally cardboard. Like, there's nothing. But once you open it and get it all out, holy God. And that's not even half of the deck. Like, hold on, let me get the rest of the deck. This, I put it all together. Like, look how big the deck is. This is just one. This is the title card. That's how big the deck is. So let's close this up. And this one ripped on me again. Like, there was several things that happened again to me, but it is what it is. So here are the backs. So if you can see that, let me move this out a little bit so you can see it. And notice it's green because of what? Because of the absinthe. It's all a green color because of the absinthe. And then you can tell, like, it's a hanging bat with the chain and stuff like that. So it's all like that. But look how thick this deck is. That is the entire deck right there. And then there's stuff up here, and I don't know why. Because I had to do all of this again today when I first got it in. But that's the last card, the Baron Alchemist card. That's the last card of the deck. That's really bright. This is the last card of the deck, Baron Alchemist. It's kind of like the extra card. So I'm going to put that like aside. Actually, I'll just leave it in the back. But here's the tarot, the title card. And it says, the path of enlightenment has never been so dark, the Wormweird Tarot. And this was in, George Higham did this in 2007. So this is a very, like, more of a vintage deck. So I'm going to show you all. I'm going to flip it over like this and kind of just do it like this so you can see it. If you see, like, parts off of it, it's where it just, look at that. 0 is the Fool. And look at all of that artwork around it. Like, he did amazing. And yes, this is a sculpture that he did himself. That is a wax sculpture that he did himself. Every bit of that is wax. Like the stuff behind it could be like wood and things like that too, though. This is more of like a puppet. Like, notice it looks more like a puppet up here. Look, I love this part right here. I don't know why I love that so much. The next is The Alchemist, which, remember the story where there was the twins brothers that were together and he did something in the asylum? I don't know 100% all about it, but this is awesome. I love it. This one is one of my favorites. I love this one. This is the high priestess, which is the fortune teller. And it says, fortune told by Madame Artemisia. And then over here it says something else. No refunds. Right there. So I thought that was cool. And then, of course, the Empress. All of these, like I said, are made by him. Like how much, like he did so good. The Emperor. The Hierophant. Which I think that there's like a gun in here. And it's like he tried to shoot himself. But it made like, he made it look like everything, you know. And then there's the ghost coming out. The Lovers. And you can tell what it is. Everybody loved the drink so much. That was their passion. That was their love. Was the wormwood. The absinthe. And notice it was green. So that was everybody's love in the wormwood. There's a chariot. That's the only way they could get out, was dying from it. That's actually sad. Justice. Oh, so if 8 is justice, then 11 scream would be, they switched it out. So it would be strength, like a lot of the other ones do. Justice. Look how thick these cards, I mean, it's ridiculous. I love it. The Hermit. And look in the background, the Absinthe. The Will. And then, of course, this would be the Scream, which would be strength. This one's a cool one. I love this one. The Hanged Man. So if you see him up like upright, they did a really good job on it. And this is vintage, so I mean, what do you expect from back in the day? Doing it yourself, doing all of the imagery, everything yourself, all of the extra work yourself. Death. Even like, there's Temperance. The Devil, the Wormwood Devil. I think that's Alchemy Baron, or Baron Alchemist or something, or it's backwards. The Tower, which I figured would be the asylum, but these are not, remember, these are not like pictures or image. These are images of what he made. The Star. It's like a fetus on it. This one is the Moon. And it says disease. Everything's not what you think it is. It's disease. The Sun. I just love all of that around here. Like, it's so beautiful. And the cards are so thick. I would not know how to even shuffle these cards, to be honest with you. And to be honest, I wouldn't know how to shuffle these. I mean, I will, but don't think I'm not going to play with them. But Judgment. Let me see if that'll... Can you see a little bit better on them? The World. It looked horrible. So the Ace of Nails is was that the Ace of Nails is the Pentacles. And you'll see it on the side over here, say nails. And then down here, there's always a wax stamp. 4, 5. It's like it was a map. Or like trying to do a map, or no, they broke free. 6. This is Pentacles, right? 6, 7, 8. You see the nails around the tombstone. 9, 10. The fetus of nails. The Knight of Nails. The Lady of Nails. And remember, like, they were rotting away. So, I mean, this is exactly what they would look like. The King. Those are all wax sculptures he did. So Ace of Shadows is the wands. So this is the wands. I don't know why they couldn't have done, like, whatever. 2 of Shadows, which is 2 of Wands. 3 of Wands. It's like the pitchfork. 4 of Wands. I love that one. 5 of Wands. 6 of Wands. That is one card I hate because it just looks pippish to me, but 7 of Wands. Or Shadows. 8. Remember the 8-legged spiders, that they're fast. 9. 10. It's like 10 hands. Just the shadows. Fetus. And then down here, it's a different, notice the different stamp. The Knight. The Queen. I actually like that one, though. And the Lord of Shadows. So the next one is the Flames. So the Ace of Flames. And then down here you'll see it. The Ace of Flames. 2 of Flames. This is pippish, but I kind of give him credit because I'm sure he couldn't really do a lot with, like, wax sculptures. Like, it's already hard enough, so that one's really cool because it's on top of a book. I think that's really cool. 5. Actually, that's really cool. I love that one. Let's see if I can push this down to it all. 6. 7. 8. 9. Just 9 of Swords. 10. 'The fetus. This one looks like they're conjoined. This is the Knight. At first I thought that was the Lady. I don't know why. Well, this one's no better. There's the Lady. So it kind of almost looks like a jester. And then the Lord of Flames. So it's hard for me to go back and forth with the colors. So remember, absinthe is the cups. It's the drink that's already it's ruining everybody, and that's what the wormwood is in the city. So ace, and then right there's the cups. It's a little wax. 2, 3. 3 of cups. They're like celebrating, I guess, in the cup. 4. 5. 6. 'Every time I see a hand, it reminds me of it. Where was that one? That one reminded me of it. Oh, with the nail in there. 7 of cups. It's absinthe, but you know what I mean. This is actually one of my favorite cards. I love alchemy and things like that. So 8. 9 of cups. 10 of cups. I always look in the background. That's what they do. Fetus of absinthe. Like, actually, that's what it messes up the fetus, like when you're drinking. Knight. The Lady. This is just such a cool deck. I love it so much. It is so thick, too, though. The Lord. She had turned into a mermaid, I think. And then the last, which is the Baron Alchemist card, which is like an extra card. Look how thick that deck is. That is a crazy deck. Like, if I were to shuffle it, you could shuffle it like that, but there's no way that you could do it like this. I don't think you could do it, because I'm afraid that this would chip off even more, and then it'd be worse. So there is that. So how did you all like it? How did you all like the deck? I waited forever for it to come in because I believe that they have to wait for it to go out from Nebraska, and I don't think that they can make these because it's from George Higham himself. So I don't think that they can reprint these, and if they are, they're printing them off the same stock. So that's what I'm saying. If you want to get these before they're all gone, I would suggest hurrying up and doing so, because once they're gone, and you will never be able to get it again. So, ever. Like, when he's passed away. So, you'll never be able to get the deck again. So, when I look at the barcode right here, oh God, you can't even see it. Why can you not see that? Oh, okay, I see it. Okay. I was like, what? It's invisible? But no, it just says, over here it says, contains 80, contents 80 card tarot deck in the Wormweird Codex. And then over here is the Wormweird Tarot, and then over here is that. And then here I noticed something, which is this. I don't know if that's because it's the Poe, or so, I don't know. And then it says it again over here, and then the back. So there you go. Let me know what you all thought about this. Would you all buy this deck? Like, do you all like it? Do you think it's really gothy and like really cool, or just And it's not really even being golf. I think it's just, it somehow sets me in the mood of like Pirates in the Caribbean for some reason. If anybody thinks that, let me know. But I like how he made up his own story. And throughout the cards, it tells you like part of the story through every single card. So I really love this. This is one of my favorites. It is the only place I could find it was Amazon. I think there is one more place if you look it up, but I think it's a lot more. And so I would definitely get it on Amazon before they run out, because they are literally not going to have that much more. I don't think that they have the authority to do so. Where he's passed away, I don't think that they can keep doing it anyway. And the way the cardstock is and the codex, I think that they can't do it like that where he's passed away. They can't. I like this right here, how they did the tarot and all of that, and the sticks. I love that. And then there's like the fish and then the cross. I love that. He did a wonderful job with his smokes and mirrors and like little extra retro vintage Victorian, like that's how they did it back then. He didn't have like all that technology, so he used that along with his wax sculptures to make this. So I think he did an amazing job. So please tell me what you all think. Let me know, seriously, let me know down below what you think. I want to know, would you buy this deck? Would you get this deck? Would you use this deck? Or did you think it was just like kind of, just be honest with me. So thank you so much, and I will see you later. And the next tarot deck will be, I'm going to start off with books next. We've done a lot of tarot, and so now I'm going to start off with a lot of books. And the first book, I'm doing a book club on TikTok through my channel, the Scrying on TikTok. And it's at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays. So I do my tarot readings before or after or whatever. But on 8 o'clock on Tuesdays, I will do my book club. And it is The Psychic Witch by Matt Aron. And I really, really love this book. There's exercises in it that we can do, that we can talk about. Like, it's so cool because we will talk about, like, the exercises, how they worked for each one of us, and if like it didn't make you feel uncomfortable doing it. Like there's one in here to be like, you have to act like you're a psychic all day and actually try to think of things that might happen throughout the day, which is really cool. But you have to literally go in the mirror and like, it is just crazy, all this stuff. But then after that, we're doing the second book by him, which is Mastering Magic by Matt Aron. And I cannot wait to do these. So you just need a notebook. It's a free club to go in. You just need like a notebook to write in for your exercises, I believe, and you can just use some paper. It doesn't matter on that. You can type it in your phone if you want. You can also get the audiobook, the Kindle. I like the physical book. I love physical books. I love highlighting in them. Obviously, you can highlight in Kindles and audiobooks and stuff, like the Kindles. I mean, you can highlight in those. Highlight in the audiobook. Tell the lady to hold on. You're going to highlight her while she's talking. I meant the Kindle book. But there are several other ones. I got the Voodoo Bible, the 701 book I want to show you all. There's several other ones I want to show you all and tell you all how I feel about them and kind of review on those. So also, I will be doing a breakup oil. I'll either be doing that tomorrow, probably tomorrow or the next, but I need to get out the green rice and do the green rice that I promised for the money bowl. So I'm going to show you all how to do a money bowl the right way. Always put your money bowl by the door, the front door when you walk in, because that's where everybody sets their keys and things like that down in their purses. And that's where you kind of want to stick your own money and cash in. So every time you come in every day, you want to kind of stick your change in there and keep adding to it. And it's not that's not the purpose of the money bowl, but it helps. And that's why I wanted to let you all know that kind of tip. But anyway, if you do not want to make green rice, you do not have to. You can have white rice. I don't care. I've used white rice so many years without making the green. I've only used the green not very many years. So I'm just going to say the white rice is just as good too. So If you just have the white and you do not have the coloring for the green, it's totally fine. Just use white rice. But you do need a lot of other things like cinnamon sticks, bay leaves, full on bay leaves that are not broken. Make sure they look really good because we're going to write on them. And then also bills of money so you can roll them up so we can put them in the bowl. Coins, they can be coins of different countries in travel, or they can be coins that you have that we're going to stick in there with some other stuff with sugar, bank dirt. You need bank dirt. Everyone knows that I use a lot of dirt. I use every dirt I can think of. I use dirt from the church for if I need it from the church. I use graveyard dirt. There's bank dirt. There's courthouse dirt. I use every dirt there possibly could be. Cemetery dirt for just in case, just any cemetery dirt. And so I just want to let you all know that is very, and even crossroads dirt is very important. So now crossroads is a 4-point like this or a 3-point. It doesn't have to be just a 4-point. But thank you all. I will see you all later. And just let me know what you all want to see for me. If you all want to see something else like that, or what you all want to see for me next, just let me know and I'll do whatever I can. But I am going to try to do a breakup oil. That way you can put it on the candle when you do the breakup spell to break that person up from the other person or vice versa. But I'll go through all that with you. So thank you so much. Have a great one, and I will see you all later. And please let me know what you all think down below. And again, let me know what you all want to see next, okay? Thank you.